So, being that I might be a little too deep in wasting my time with an exercise science degree at my college, I was just wondering, it's kind of a couple things, just as like a young...
Well, let's talk about that. Do you think it's been a waste of time?
Personally, no, not really. I mean, they require
What do you want to do with it?
I want to just be a strength coach.
Have they helped you be a strength coach?
So far, I think a little bit, yeah.
All right. With just the basic stuff about
just
physiology.
The basic stuff, right.
Right. But are they going to provide you with anything specific to being a strength coach?
No, probably not.
I mean, in terms of programming for strength training, exercise, execution, selection, that sort of stuff.
And so that's kind of where the second part of my question comes in. As someone who's just trying to get into coaching, when did you find your focus kind of shift from your own training to maybe just focusing more on coaching?
The day I bought the gym. It's a tremendous focusing mechanism.
Money.
Got to pay the fucking rent here. In order to do that, I got to have some clients. In order to get clients, I have to, do a good job with them, or they'll go home and tell everybody not to come train with them.
Right. And then what about any maybe specific books or anything just to read?
Well, I used to read everything until I figured out that it wasn't helping me much.
Right.
I was a member. I don't know if you guys know this. I've written this before. I was a member of the first class that ever obtained the CSCS credential.
Right.
I believe that was in 1985 or 6. I can't remember when it was. And I dropped it in 2009. So for a very long time, I had the journals. Every month, I'd go through there and read the journals. Nothing in those journals helped me in the gym. I mean, how many creatine studies can you read in a year's worth of journal subscription and retain any semblance of sanity? And in fact, I'll tell you what I read one time, and this is kind of the catalyst that prompted me to do some of the shit that you're familiar with. There was a 25 years ago, this periodization thing was just coming into focus, and it was the latest thing, and it was thought to be that everyone had to do periodization. Everything had to be periodized. Periodization. There's an article published in the Strength and Conditioning Journal, not the JSCR, but the Strength and Conditioning Journal. And I think that must have appeared in about 99, 2000, 2001, I can't remember. It was a guy who at the time was down in Denton, and he wrote an article, and it ended up being published as about like an 8-page article. And I shit you not, how to periodize your abdominal training. No shit. How to periodize your abdominal training. And I read through that article and I said, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. These people have lost their minds. Here I've been trying to train people for, at the time, 15, 20 years. And this is crazy. This doesn't apply in the real world. Nobody periodize your ab. What does that even mean? You have one kind of sit-up you do during one part of the training cycle, and how in the hell does this apply to anything? So that acted as a giant catalyst for me to, at some point, the emperor has no clothes, that kind of thing. So I started kind of formulating some ideas about how am I going to address why this is stupid. So I had to start getting my thoughts together on it.
Would you recommend going for the CSCS?
I don't know why. who can't pass the CSCS. Anybody with an exercise physiology degree automatically gets the thing, don't they? Has anybody ever graduated from your program that has failed the CSCS?
I don't know how many.
How many people have failed the CSCS, and who were they? That's really kind of an important question, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you fail the CSCS?
I'll take it and tell you if I fail.
Has anybody got it? Anybody in the group got the CSCS? Nobody? Maybe it is real hard. Anthony, you don't have the CSCS?
No, I just had the CPT through NSCA.
Yeah, and that was real hard,
I
wasn't
got
it?
a 98%. I didn't study for it.
Yeah, that's about right.
So, yeah.
That's about right. It's just a multiple choice test.
Right.
You know, it's an automatic thing. Anybody graduates from an ex-phys program, any PE program gets a CSCS, right?
Right.
Somehow, though, that is the gold standard.
Mm-hmm.
It's a ticket that PE majors punch. That's what it is. If you want to get it, what the hell? Take a couple hours. Just get it over with. Get it.
Right.
I don't know what good it will do you, but it may be a credential that may be necessary at some point along the way. So go ahead and get it over with. It's not going to be a big deal,
Right.
you know. But the reason we do this coaching credential the way we do it is primarily a reaction to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is so thoroughly wrong.
Right.
What we do is primarily a reaction to that low standard that is somehow still the gold standard. Okay? So if you're getting a lot out of your program, good. Maybe you're in a good one. I don't know. I'm not aware of a good one, but
Right.
you know, I don't know everything. But and a lot of these kind of things depend entirely on the people in the faculty. You know, the right people could turn a shitty curriculum, a low quality curriculum, into what actually, in effect, is a good program, right?
Right.
If they know how to do the right things, they're lifters themselves, they understand the value of strength, they're interested in helping you, they give you the right advice. You know, they're not just coming to work every day. You know, so it's personnel dependent, as most things are, right?
Right.
So, you know, yeah, keep going, man.
Good evening, Mark. Enjoyed the seminar. For the record, I took lots of notes that you stated on Friday.
Good.
Two quick questions, which will be short, of course, and they'll probably receive a smart-ass answer.
Well, that's the only way I know how to talk.
I'm joking, of course. So, young athletes, what's your recommendation in terms of age to start the program?
Well, that's kind of one of the.
There you go.
Somebody had to ask it.
Jeremy's the guy, man.
Well,
Jeremy's the
because
guy.
they're starting in middle school and high school, and
The
obviously,
program cannot be trained by a 6-year-old child because a 6-year-old child.
come on, man.
Am I answering this correctly?
I know it's.
All right.
I understand.
No, these exercises can be done by any human being that can stand up. Okay? They can't be trained according to our definition of training. They can be executed, but they must be approached as play by kids. When kids lose interest in doing them, they shouldn't be forced to do them because that's being a prick to your kids. But if your kids want to go out in the garage with dad and squat, sure. It'd be good for you to try to teach them how to do that. Right? The primary problem with children doing barbell exercises is that children are usually very careless about controlling their eccentric descent on everything. You may have noticed this. They fall down into the bottom of the squat. They drop the bar overhead from the press. They drop the bench press on themselves. So they don't control the eccentric portions very well. If they can be taught to safely lower themselves and execute eccentric movements under control, there's nothing dangerous about any aspect of barbell training for children. But they can't train the lifts until they're at Tanner stage 4, as a general rule.
Quick follow-up question.
Follow-up question.
Respectful question.
All right.
We discussed nutrition a couple times here, and we even told, I think, one of the other lifters to eat more sandwiches. What is your opinion with regards to, supplementation, proteins, aminos, etc., in conjunction with the program?
Well, I think that if you've got schedule problems and time is tight, you don't have time to shop, that a whey protein supplement is extremely valuable. I think the older you get, a good deal of evidence that indicates that muscle protein synthesis being stimulated by protein feeding, the efficiency of that process becomes less, lowers inefficiency as you get older, so you need better quality protein, more of it. So there are many instances where whey protein is an excellent idea. I don't think, I don't see that it's really a supplement, it's a food,
So if, like for your 30-year-old or 20-year-old male, he doesn't need to take additional protein or supplements into his daily diet?
No, probably not. If he's drinking a gallon of milk a day, if he's trying to gain weight, if he's eating protein, eating meat, eggs, 3 or 4 times a day, he probably does not need a protein supplement. Because A, he's getting enough in his diet because he's eating a lot, and B, he is much more efficient at utilizing a protein feeding to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. So the older you get, the more critical this becomes. So I think old people need some whey protein. I like the way the isolate tastes better than the concentrate. And I buy that Now brand, get it on Amazon. Get the unflavored, I can put it in anything.
Why all those years ago did you decide to be a coach?
I decided to buy the gym.
That was the only.
And then it occurred to me that I have to be a coach if I'm going to own the gym.
That was it?
It's just sometimes shit happens accidentally.
There's no romantic story.
There was never a master plan for me to be the greatest strength coach in the history of the human race.
It just happened.
The geology business was slow, and I just said, fuck, I got to do something. I just buy this gym. I'll just sell some memberships and mow some yards, and it just kind of. As you'll find, most of life is dependent on contingency. Shit just happens the way it happens.
All
right.
Pass the torch.
Pass the microphone.
All right, Mark. So most of my life I was pretty unhealthy, sedentary. About 8 years ago, I got into stand-up paddleboarding. And
what's that?
Stand-up paddleboarding?
How do you paddle if you're standing up?
With a paddle.
You stand on it.
It's
with
like
a paddle.
A long
It's like a
surfboard.
longboard, but with a long paddle.
Yeah. It's like a long canoe paddle.
He's mind blown right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to visualize this. This is like a surfboard, but you're standing on it with a paddle.
Exactly.
Yes.
Doesn't that kind of look stupid?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I'm trying to visualize this not being stupid looking, and I can't.
Well, yeah.
Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, Lake Tahoe. This first time I ever saw it was in Tahoe.
Really? Is it stupid looking like I think it?
It's a lot of fun.
It's actually a lot of fun.
Can you fish while you're doing it?
My friends do. I race.
I bet it
and
is a
surf.
core workout. It's great for the core.
Well, that's a selling point for sure.
Yeah.
So getting into
So
a
a paddleboarder
paddle-
had this gigantic core.
Exactly.
Big hypertrophy core.
There's definitely not much hypertrophy, but there's some soreness that
Right.
I would feel. So I found that rolling on a foam roller
Right?
brought some relief after paddling.
Right?
And I woke up this morning, lifting is new to me. I woke up this morning and the first thing I thought was not that I wanted to come here and lift more, but that I wanted to go and get a massage or roll out. And I was curious, what are your thoughts on myofascial release, massage, in terms of the benefit to the body and
My thoughts will be probably not well received
okay.
in the myofascial release community. All right, myofascial release can be useful in certain narrow ranges of circumstances. Right? If you have learned to associate foam rolling with relief, then that's an interesting psychological trick that you have played on yourself, and I congratulate you for your ability to adapt to adverse circumstances. Right? Foam rolling and myofascial release are two completely different things, though, aren't they? Now let's think about why. All right? If I'm going to give somebody an IT band release, what am I going to do? I'm going to press in the direction I'm going to apply pressure directionally along the length of the tendon, right? Now, what kind of force production is that against the structures underneath? There's a shear component, right? What do you do when you foam roll?
Compression.
It's just compression. Now, they both hurt real bad. So if you can learn that hurting real bad, and as I previously mentioned, I'm not into that, but if you learn that hurting real bad is therapeutic and make yourself believe that, to the extent that you get one of those foam rolling things with the knobs all on it and shit, then go ahead and do that. I just don't think that you can demonstrate a therapeutic effect for foam rolling to me. I understand it's real popular, and a lot of big, strong guys like it. Rippetoe's a pussy, man. He don't like foam rolling. But I do recognize that there are circumstances where a directed shear-based kind of a active release therapy is useful, depending on the injury. But not just a matter of course during the week. I just don't see the point. I don't see the point. Is that helpful?
It is. So
Gosh, I hope so.
Don't trick yourself into thinking that something's happening that's not happening.
That's not happening.
If you
Exactly, yes.
If you do something and you feel better afterwards,
Do it again, shit.
cool. There's a bunch of reasons.
That's my motto.
Right, but
You know?
yeah, do it again and continue. If you have the time and the money and it's not distracting you from important shit like getting strong, go ahead and do what the fuck you want. But don't formulate. What happens is people start doing this and then they start reverse engineering explanations for why this feels awesome.
right.
So just be careful with that because it's bullshit in general.
As a general rule, all of that kind of therapy is bullshit. As a general rule, there are exceptions, right?